Welcome back to Arubakes. Hi, I'm Aru and today we're making everyone's favorite Sri Lankan dessert, a chocolate biscuit pudding. CBP for us Sri Lankans. It's layers of biscuit, chocolate cream, and it's topped with a decadent chocolate ganache. Everyone has their own version of CBP, which varies ever so slightly from each other. Here's how to make my version. Start off by making a basic chocolate butter icing. Into the bowl of your stand mixer, add in room temperature butter. I always use salted butter and make sure to always use butter and not margarine. To this, sift in icing sugar and get that beating with a paddle attachment on a low speed. As the icing sugar starts getting incorporated into the butter, spoon in the cocoa powder. Once that's mixed through, just give the icing a quick taste to see if it's chocolatey enough. Now here's the thing, especially back home, I always find that the cocoa powder tends to vary from batch to batch. It's not consistent even if you're buying from the same brand. So sometimes you might need to add a little bit extra to get the taste to your liking. Once the basic icing is ready, add in 1 egg and get that mixing. Your icing will go from a stiff consistency to a glossy, silky, creamy looking icing like this. Always scrape the bowl down to ensure that there aren't any bits of unmixed ingredients sitting at the bottom of your mixing bowl. And that is the base for most chocolate biscuit pudding. But I like to take this one step further and add in some whipped cream. I find it gives the filling a more luscious mouthfeel and it adds a nice lightness to this dessert. Ideally, I should have whipped the cream up in my stand mixer, but I decided to use my new glass bowl and an electric whisk and I ended up making a huge mess. There was cream flying everywhere, you guys. So I switched out the electric whisk to a hand whisk and finished whipping this cream. Add 2 to 3 tablespoons of sugar and whisk the cream until it thickens. You don't need to have stiff peaks because we're just folding this into the chocolate icing to lighten it up a little. Once your cream has thickened, then pour it into the chocolate icing. Fold this in using a rubber spatula until it's incorporated and then finally use a whisk to combine everything together. Now if you're adding in some brandy to your CBP, do this now and whisk it through. I completely forgot to add it in and I realized only once I had started to assemble the chocolate biscuit pudding. So I'm adding it into the ganache that we're topping the dessert with. And that's your chocolate filling done. And it's now time to assemble this chocolate biscuit pudding. Get your bowl and pour in some milk. Get your Marie Biscuit ready, get your dessert bowl ready and form almost an assembly line. First, dip the Marie Biscuit in the milk, maybe 3 to 4 seconds on each side, and then line the bottom of your dessert bowl with the soaked biscuit. Do a thick layer of biscuit at the bottom, maybe the thickness of 2 to 3 biscuits, and then add in a couple of spoonfuls of that chocolate cream filling. Smoothen it out to cover the entire biscuit layer and then add more biscuit. Make sure that the biscuit almost overlap each other in every layer so that you have a nice ratio of biscuit to cream. Now I like my biscuits to have a slight bite to it and that's why I only soak it for a few seconds on each side. If you prefer your biscuits to be soggier, then just soak it for a few seconds more. Keep layering your dish with the soaked biscuits and the chocolate filling. And when you come almost all the way to the top, gently press down the biscuit layer to make sure everything is nicely packed in and compressed into your dessert bowl. And then top this off with a final layer of chocolate cream, smoothen it out and pop this in the freezer just to set. While this is setting, make the chocolate ganache to go on top. To make the ganache, finely chop up some dark chocolate. The smaller you chop it up, the better, because then it melts easier. Get some milk heating in a saucepan. You can always use cream for this, but since I had already opened a carton of milk, I'm just using milk today. Once the milk comes to a light simmer, turn the heat off and add in the chopped chocolates. And then let that sit in the warm milk for about 5 minutes. Use a rubber spatula and stir the chocolate. It will slowly start coming together. Add in a shot of brandy almost at the end and stir that through. Now this is optional. but it's such a good addition to this chocolate biscuit pudding. As you stir, you will have a glossy chocolate sauce. Don't worry if this is looking super runny at the start. Let it cool down for about 15 minutes or so, and it will thicken up into a nice saucy consistency. By this time, your chocolate biscuit pudding should have hardened up a little in the freezer. Pour that boozy chocolate ganache on top of your chocolate biscuit pudding and spread it out quickly using a palette knife. Work quickly at this point because the cold pudding will make the chocolate set fast if not. Top this off with some chocolate chips or chocolate shavings, and you can even add some roasted cashew nuts on top. And then keep this in the fridge until you're ready to serve. And that is how to make a delicious Sri Lankan chocolate biscuit pudding. With the hour of the holidays coming up soon, do try this at home, you guys. And as always, drop me a like and a comment and subscribe for more. See you in the next one. Bye.